really owning a problem that spans over the boundaries. So, like,
that is a problem. That is a core problem. Everybody thinks that my table is clean and I have in my table all things in order.
Yeah.
But there is as messy table in the next corridor, and I have been told that in the bigger companies, in the cubicles, there are people in cubicles. And they don't know actually what they are doing. They are sending emails to the next. There is no discussion at all.
Yeah.
Even the people are 2 meters apart.
Yeah. So we talked about it before, like, given that this is the challenge and the reality of many large companies, and it's a complex selling process to negotiate and to get all these people into the room, and back and forth. The other alternative would be to go for another, like you mentioned the service providers, that you could find these partners to collaborate with that already have the customer relationship and already have identified some context or area where they already decided that yes, we are investing in developing this part of the business, and they need the service provider, but it's an obvious match that they also need the data management platform.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking of these kind of potential partners? I guess they were part of your reasoning earlier here.
Yeah, basically there is. I think that the partners in the mining cluster, we identified those briefly. Some for our expedition on the moon team, but for example, that I discussed earlier with our customer about a certain problem, and what is the problem? If it's solved, it doesn't need to be solved because it's so little value out of that. But if the problem would have been if we start to solve the problem, we need minimum 4 companies to take in the same table. We have to take 4 different ICT companies in the table. One is our company, but 3 others. And that is a kind of normal scenario when we are creating things, value, not only the data platform, but the data flow itself. In the end, there is a data platform, and that have a kind of value for customer. But that is a normal scenario that there is 3 companies, and as I said to the customer, that this is not that kind of problem that could be solved, but in near future. Once we start to discuss with the ICT company, with 3 ICT companies, that takes months to even get into the same table. Timetables are quite hard nowadays, and the people are busy, and if there is something not standardized thing that needs to be kind of thought through, it is hard to get this. But as an example, the mining cluster companies in this case have 4 different ICT companies to solve things. 4 different ICT companies. And you can imagine how many suppliers or vendors or manufacturing type of machinery, different specific functions of software or components. So that you are discussing with Metso, Outotec, Sandvik, Normet, and all those manufacturing companies. But as I have been, for example, the Sandvik, you forget about the company, but typical example, not willing to kind of collaborate with the customer with the data. Another company was telling that we are owning the data, even though the customer is doing things. I think that is not the correct way to think. So manufacturing company that delivers services or parts or machines into the company, thinks that they own the data, not the customer. That is kind of problematic way of thinking, because I have said that how in the world is that if the customer wants your data, you should be able to deliver that in the proper format or in the format that the customer is willing to have it. But that was not the case. Company said that no. Computer says no. We are not want to solve your problems, even though you are buying millions worth of equipment from us.
Yeah.
That is kind of...
And that's a common problem in mining and in other industries also, I think, and it has been discussed for years and years. And it's always the nice word in a seminar or so that we should enhance the transparency and we should talk about the data ownership, but it hasn't led those seminars into action, I think. Not in a big scale.
Not in a big scale. A small scale maybe, but those things that people talk in the seminars. Those perfect example of those C-level executives going through the world and the press releases. Oh, that is nice thing. I want to have that. Then let's put it in our company leaflet as well. We are doing digitalization. Oh, transparency is nice word as well. Yeah, put this, that as well. So these are kind of high level, fine and nice things to have and talk about. But as they get hard, nobody is willing to do that. Even though the C-level executive, because the C-level executives never go around and ask, are we doing this or that? Are we doing digitalization? For global big company, they put it on their stock exchange press release that we are doing this kind of digitalization things. But the C-level executives never go and ask anybody, are we actually doing this?
Yeah.
And that is the problem, because they talk, but they never follow. True. And if the question is never asked, are we doing this or that? Are we fulfilling our vision? That is never gets, the job never gets done. And those are examples, this my cynical example of that if you talk with ICT managers, they are not willing to say that, yes, we are doing that or not, we are doing that, but they say that we don't need to do that. That costs money. And once they say that, the C-level executives gets afraid and say, we don't want to do that because that makes